Well, it's not 4:30, but god damn it, I'm here. And we're here today, finally, after a couple delays, a couple postponements, due to personal reasons on both ends. Completely fine. I've been a little busy. I've been a little not all centered around the Rotten Report stuff lately. My posts have, you know, as you can see with my posts, I've been a little lackluster with, content. Other than posting the Halloween franchise 4Ks, which there's one of them. I still have them in here. But anyway, we're here to celebrate a 2. Friday the 13th Part 2. I got the privilege of meeting Lauren Marie Taylor at Horror Hound weekend back in September, and she's best known for playing the I forget what she even describes herself as, but she played the girl who had the brown panties that we still haven't decided how the director Steve Miner decided to go with those, but we'll get to that later. Let's see if I can. I'm going to see if I can add her in here. All right. Hopefully, that's Julie Morsel.
Banjo!
Hello.
Am I here?
I think so.
I'm in the dark, sorry.
A little dark.
No,
Are
I'm
you
trying
high?
to get my puppy. I'm trying to wrangle my puppy right now.
Is Jason
It's
after you
terrible.
again?
Yeah, really.
Jason.
Let me. Here's my puppy. There's my puppy.
Oh my
There's
god.
my puppy. Oh, you can't see him. He's too crazy. Anyway, I was going to do this outside. I know, really, it's like being in a horror movie. And I'm going up the stairs.
Be around every corner.
Sandra. I'm trying to go to a quiet place because all these landscaping guys are out there. No, just kidding. So here I am. All right, sorry about that. My husband just got home and I was trying to wrangle the puppy because the puppy likes to hang out with him. So yeah.
No trouble.
If I go like this, can you still see me?
You're a little side. Yeah, I've noticed that with the Instagram. If you have your phone sideways, everything's sideways, and it doesn't work for some reason.
Oh, okay. You can tell I don't know anything about anything.
It's okay. I don't. I don't.
Oh my gosh. I never know. Whoops! I just took a picture of us. I was trying to lift the volume, and I took a picture of us. This is kind of funny to go live. I haven't done live stuff for a long time.
Well, is this your first or one of your very first Instagram lives?
Well, sorry. Well, what I did is what do they call it when you crash a party? Oh, I crashed one once with a couple of cosplayers, but I didn't know what I was doing. I just thought, oh, and look, it says that so-and-so is going live. So let me go. It was South Jersey Jason. And I said, oh, let me go and say hi to them. I didn't know what it was. And there was this whole discussion going on. And I thought, oops, I don't think I'm supposed to be here. And they're like, Lauren, is that real? And I was like, yeah. And I was in my kitchen baking something ridiculous like that.
Goodness gracious. Sorry. I had a technical error.
Yeah, well, I got to get my roots done. So how does this work? There you are.
Sorry about
Maybe
that.
that was on your end.
That was on my end.
Oh, I don't want people to think I'm a complete dweeb.
No, it's quite. My wife had called me. I forgot to mention to her that I was doing this today, so she's probably might have. I don't know. If she didn't need anything, she would have. I guess she's actually in here right now. Actually. How are you? Hopefully not getting into any flat tires.
Oh my gosh. No, I'm going to it's called the State Theater of Johnstown on Thursday because they're doing a showing of Friday the 13th Part 2.
Oh,
And
very
it's my husband's, oh, it's so cool. It's my husband's childhood friend who's helping, I guess, market and raise funds to bring it back to its historical beauty and what it was. And they were on the phone talking one day, and I overheard my husband say, "Oh, my wife was in that movie." I, put my head out of the kitchen. I said, "What movie?" He goes, "Well, John Qualley's doing this at this theater in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, and they're showing Friday the 13th Part 2." And I said, "Well, when?" He went, "Oh, like the third week of October." And I looked at the calendar. I said, "Tell him I'll go. I'm not doing anything." So I'm going, and hopefully I won't get a flat tire. This one is only 5.5 hours away. So I think it's better than 12 hours to Cincinnati.
I was gonna say that was quite the haul.
But it was worth it. I was worth it. I really wanted to go so I could see my sister-in-law, and I accomplished that, and meeting everybody there too, meeting everybody in Cincinnati and from the surrounding area was very cool.
Yeah, I just remember just following your journey. I was like, oh man, if a lot of people here probably don't know that story, but if you'd like to share a little
Yeah, I
bit
got a flat
about.
tire about, yeah, it was an hour and a half in. And it was funny because when I got onto that part, I guess it was the Pennsylvania Turnpike, we had just had those crazy floods out east here. And there was debris all over the road. And I made the mistake in my brain of putting it out to the universe and saying, "Oh my God, I hope I don't get a flat tire." And I thought to myself, well, at least I know how to change a flat tire. Boof. And I just saw that little exclamation point come up, on the dashboard that lets you know in a Subaru, you've got a problem. Houston, we have a problem. And I just pulled over, and I didn't cry, but I just shook my head and said, "Oh, here we go."
And it begins.
Yeah, let the adventure begin.
Yeah, because you ran into that. Yeah, you ran into a freak hailstorm. I remember you saying.
Yeah, you're going through the mountains in Pennsylvania, right? They build those tunnels that go through the mountains, and it's really cool. You feel like you're like going into the womb again, even though I don't remember that. And then you come out the other side and you think, okay, is this that show La Brea? Am I, in a totally different part of the Earth's crust or something? What happened here? It was like being in a horror movie, really.
Yeah, it's like you're trapped.
Totally. Totally. In my little itty bitty car. It's not like I have this big luxurious SUV with a refrigerator and, booming stereo system on. I'm in my little Subaru.
I'm stuck in here. It's like a smart car. Oh goodness, yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was great getting to meet you that weekend. That was it was great to finally get back in that atmosphere because I mean it'd been almost 2 years since Horror Hound had an event, so I mean it was really nice to be back there, I should say.
Yeah, yeah, it was nicely attended. I really like the group behind Horror Hound. They're really very gracious and a lot of fun, and they have great guests.
Oh yeah, for sure. They
And
already
the vendors were amazing. Got new dog collars for my dog, got a new dog collar for my husband. It was great.
they have you know they do have a little a little bit of everything there. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, not just a lot of horror stuff, but not just horror stuff, and it's fun. It's definitely like they generally have like a lot of the same vendors generally come back each year, which is
Uh-huh.
nice. You can go see what kind of new stuff they have, and then of course
Yeah.
you'll have new people that show up. Same with they're not going to have the same guests every year. Like they've already started revealing guests for March's show, and I mean it's looking good.
Oh, wow. I got to check that out.
No, because the new Scream film's coming out in January, so they're going to be doing
Hmm.
a big Scream thing. They've already they got Matthew Lillard, Skeet Ulrich, Nev Campbell,
Very cool.
Tom Atkins is coming back, of course.
Of course.
Love me
Yeah,
some.
he's everywhere.
He's yeah. As long as I'm just glad he's still kicking and doing well. Because he's
Yeah.
only getting older.
Yeah, I was happy to see Robert Patrick there because I'm a big fan of his, and he rides a motorcycle, and I really appreciate that about him. It's
Yeah,
and he's just so nice. So such a I was afraid of him because he's, that guy,
yeah. Looks like a
cyborg. So I was a little afraid to go up to him because I thought, oh, what if he's one of those guys? It's kind of like, yeah, yeah, yeah. But
yeah.
he was just so sweet.
Like there was a there I was in that room where he was talking to one of my buddies because he's one of the people that sits with like that takes money for the guest.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
like a handler.
yeah, the handlers, yeah.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, like he and Michael Rooker were just like he'd be like, "Hey Rooker," and then like they just kind of were going back and forth, like just because there wasn't a whole lot of people in there, so they were just kind of having a conversation across the room.
Yes.
It was hilarious. Of course, Michael Rooker being who he is, I mean, he's just he's a riot as well. So yeah, it was fun to experience. And then I
Yeah,
think
they're a lot of fun. We always have fun yelling across the room at each other. I remember being in Tampa Bay, I think it was for Bay of Blood, several years ago. And there were a couple of those wrestlers, those WWE guys, and they were across from me, and they were so loud and so much fun. Yeah, I mean, I was a little afraid of them because I thought they were going to, come and pick me up and throw me, thinking, oh, that'll be fun. Let's pick up this little chick from New York. But they were a lot of fun. Yeah. Conventions are fun. Everybody thinks that we go and we're just like, oh, here we go again. But
yeah.
for us, it's a lot of fun too, because we meet so many people who know so much more about our own work than we do, our own movies than we do. And then just to meet the other people that are part of it, the other, quote, I don't call myself a celebrity, but they give you these tags that say, oh, celebrity,
Yeah,
like that, like that.
Hey, look at that. Look at that box set.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
I got mine back.
There it is.
Mine's, I think, back here somewhere. Oh, wow. Look at all.
Yeah, I got the VHS up there.
Oh, very cool. Part 2.
Yep, Girls Night Out, Neighbors. I just got a few things. I just have a few things. I'm really into like The Conjuring, and I was watching Midnight Mass last night. I like the series.
I need to watch that.
Yeah, don't tell me. I think I'm only on the 3rd episode, and
I haven't watched it, so you're good.
Okay, my lips are sealed.
I'm really terrible about watching new things. Like just recently, I just started I was kind of like, okay, I'll stop watching all the same things a million times over. I'll watch something different for a change. I think I know it was the convention weekend when that movie Malignant came out, and I know I sat there and watched it like while I was waiting for like the after hour stuff to start. I think it was Saturday night. I'm sitting there like watching it like half an hour in. I was like, well, it's time to go. But that movie was great by James Wan.
Yeah, it was.
It was definitely bonkers to say the least. It was. I enjoyed it. A lot of people are like, I don't know what this movie is. It's like, I think he was just having fun.
Yeah, he had a dream and he put it on film. That's the feeling I get from it. Yeah.
I don't think he wasn't out to make something big like The Conjuring. I think he was out to he kind of went for broke, something fresh, something different, and just kind of, went with it. And I think it worked for him. I thought it had a little bit of everything. I thought it was like it had some, kung stuff in there and everything. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Lauren.
Sorry. I just watched, I've been watching a couple of the fan films of the Friday the 13th franchise, and those are a lot of fun to watch, to see the different takes that the filmmakers have on what happened to Jason in between this year and this year, or this year and that year. It's kind of cool to watch, and it's scary. I find them scary, to tell you the truth.
I need to watch some of those. Like they have like the Never Hike Alones. I think
Yes.
The production company is called Womp Stomp or something like that.
Yeah, it is.
Like they're releasing a trilogy that has like all the films that they've done, and like it's called the Ghost Cut or something. I'm gonna have to check that out. It's supposed to come with like, I forget what the one film was called, but it's gonna have Never Hike Alone, Never Hike in the Snow, which was I think the second Jason film they did.
Yeah, I know that they're working on making sure that they get the outtakes in there too for everybody, and interviews with the cast, or interview with the people who are involved. They don't want to put the Blu-ray or any of that type of media out there for everybody until they've got everything completely finished, so that they don't want to disappoint the fans of what they're doing. And I commend them on that.
Yeah, everybody loves their special features, that's for sure. I'm one of
Yeah,
them.
we do.
I don't care if it's I'm gonna buy if it's a Halloween. I have like 15 different copies of Halloween, but if there's a new copy that has one extra feature on it, I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah, yeah. Hi, Amy. A friend of mine just came on.
Oh, we got some people watching here. It's got.
I know I don't. Well, you know, I don't have my glasses on, so maybe if I put my glasses on, I'd be able to see who's there.
We got 13 of us in here.
Oh, cool. What? How perfect is that? 13, Friday the 13th. Yeah.
Oh no!
Sorry, I'm really cheesy.
Now
Sorry.
it's 12. We jinxed it. So anyway, let's get before I jump into Friday the 13th, I was actually going to ask you about some of your other work that you've done. Like, I totally went on Wikipedia and I was like, let's find out some more stuff about Lauren Marie Taylor that maybe some people don't know about her.
It's all lies.
It's not true. None of it's true. I was not on a soap opera for 12 years.
Yeah, I didn't spend most of my adult life on TV.
I noticed. I was like, I grew up with, like, my mother watched soap operas all the time, like Days of Our Lives and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of stuck having to watch those because that was the only TV we had. And so she's like, well, I'm going to watch Days. I'm like, oh, great. Here goes an hour of my life. And then you actually start watching it and, like, learning the character. So what happened to this guy this week? Or I'll watch it with you because I got to find out what happens this week. But you were on a soap opera called Loving. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was really cool that about your character. You were the longest. You were the person who, like, stayed with the show the longest out of everybody on the show.
Yep, from day one until day 0.
1995 to 1996, 95.
Yeah, 1983. I booked it the year I was getting married. So I got married right before filming started. So I'd already booked it. And it's funny because they wanted me to be in the little movie that they had for prime time that kickstarted the series, but I couldn't be in it because I didn't know the scope of it. I was like, I'm going to be on my honeymoon. So I didn't do it. And my manager said, are you kidding me? This is your job. I said, I'm going to be on my honeymoon.
Yeah.
Sorry. If they want to send a film crew and see me traipsing around half naked, then knock yourself out, ABC TV. So they kind of wrote that I was somewhere when they were all talking around the table with Bryan Cranston and James Kybert and the other characters who were in it. And so then when I came back from my honeymoon and filmed my first scenes right away and then stayed with it. I had 3 children while I was on the show, and they hid the last pregnancy, which was kind of fun when you got to love scenes. And you had to film a love scene 8 or 9 months pregnant.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it was a little awkward. I mean, pardon?
A little challenging.
It was challenging.
And
they had to be very careful with the TV ratings board. But I said the only way this love scene is going to work is if my character is on top, because I was 9 months pregnant. Yeah. And the poor guy who I was working with had never seen a pregnant woman naked before. So I had this little thing on, and I had my little pasties on my boobs. And can you say boobs? Yeah, of course you can. I had little pasties on, and then I had little, slip type of thing on, and I crawl under the covers, and they get ready to film. And of course they have to have the sheet like halfway down your back so it looks like you're naked, but you're not really because you have something on the bottom.
Yeah.
And so I climbed on, lumbered. I didn't climb, I lumbered on top of him. They do the cue for action, and I sort of dropped the front of the towel, and it exposed my belly to the actor. Oh. And he hadn't seen it before, and he just looked at me and went, oh my God, what is that?
Like, that's my stomach.
I said, dude, you're 30 how many years old? 38 years old, and you've never seen this before? And we had to stop the scene. And he said, no, not that big.
Wow. How rude.
Oh, no, it wasn't rude at all. I said, think of it as a beer belly. I mean, I didn't let him see it because I wanted that reaction.
Yeah, that's that'd be pretty wild. Like just to think, I'm just filming something like that far along, and I couldn't imagine.
Oh, it was fun.
I'm not a female. I wouldn't know how that would be, but
No, it's weird because the growth is so gradual. I mean, I was still running 3 miles a day at that point. Yeah. Yeah.
Look at you.
I was much younger.
Yeah. Well, you could probably still do it.
Not pregnant, but I can still run. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was 30 years ago. It was quite some time ago.
What network was that on? I don't know anything about Loving, so I was just kind of curious about it.
That's okay. It was on ABC.
Oh, ABC, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
They showed that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they did. The powers that be in the big building would watch the feed as we filmed. And if they thought something was not cool, they would call into the control room, tell the director either cut it shorter because the love scene is going on for too long, or raise that sheet up a little bit more. It's getting too close to the crack of her butt, things like that. It was always about the women. You never, who cares about a man's chest? But,
yeah.
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 So stepping away from that, I wanted to ask about. So you've been in some other films, obviously, because I mean, it seems Friday the 13th Part 2 was kind of your only stab in the horror genre. It seemed.
No, I did Girls Nite Out with my husband.
Oh, okay,
that's where I met him, actually.
I didn't realize that was a horror film. I thought it was a comedy for some reason. Or was
No, that would be Neighbors. Neighbors was the comedy, but yeah, Girls Nite Out. I got. Yeah, I got.
I'm gonna have to watch that now.
If you can find it, I think I've got the only copy of it.
Wow. That's a lot of these like older films. Like they're like if you can find it on Amazon Prime, but then it'd be hard to find some films like that. I know, like I was interviewing Sammy Johnson back a couple months ago, and we were talking about some of her because she hasn't been in a whole lot of films, but I think it was like Gas Pump Girls or something like that. And
oh yeah.
She said, like, oh, good luck finding that copy of that. That's, I think it's on Prime, but other than that, it's just
you can find things.
It's always good to kind of dig up some stuff that, like, not a whole lot of people know about, like, movie-wise. Like, they might not have seen, like, something that, like Neighbors, or which I know nothing about that one either.
You gotta do some catch up here. By the way, the person who asked if Bryan Cranston played my brother on Loving, yes, he did. Bryan Cranston did play my brother on Loving, just to answer that one. But yeah, so Girls Nite Out, it was another college age type of slasher thing, bad girls. You're looking to have sex, you're gonna get killed. Yeah. And Neighbors is with where is he? I did it with John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd. I think I may have posted this on Instagram, but that's John Belushi and me on set. Yeah, without the punk makeup on, and that was a great time. That was I always call it one of the best times of my life. Yeah.
I'll definitely have to look into that one then, because it sounds like a fun time.
It was a good time. It's a bit of a dark comedy. Originally, they were supposed to switch roles. Dan Aykroyd was supposed to be the father, and John Belushi was supposed to be the neighbor. But they really wanted to play against type, so John Belushi became the straight guy, and Dan Aykroyd became the woo guy.
Great, yeah, gotcha. Well, that sounds like a good mixture, good film. So
I liked it.
So let's dive into.
Uh-oh.
See if I have it here. Oh, there it is.
I don't know what I'm getting myself into.
There
it is.
Freshly signed.
Yeah, I can. The Sharpie is still it's still wet there.
Yeah, just a tad bit. I'm still having to dust it off a little bit. So you play Vicky Perry.
Yes.
The infamous pretty panties girl.
Where are they? I think I have them right here. Hold on a second. I'm actually up in my office, which used to be one of my kids' rooms, but it's the quietest room in the house. But if I open up the window, you would hear all the people with with their lawn mowers going. Yeah, here they are.
Gotta love it.
Ooh la la.
They are.
There they are.
What was Steve Miner thinking?
I don't know. I asked him and I said, dude, come on. She had these really pretty
Yeah.
she had these really pretty black ones on, and she had that really pretty plum colored sweater on. And to change out of that into that weird itchy Argyle thing, and then to change into these, but you know what it was back in the 80s? Satin was really in. People had satin bras and satin bathing suits and satin sheets and satin underwear. So I guess it was the only color they could get at the local 5 and 10. I don't know.
Apparently.
Yeah, it's kind of gnarly.
But I mean, we will say this: at least you died wearing your brown panties.
Where's the perfume? I don't even know where the perfume came from. Somebody just asked about the perfume. It was not mine. I think it may have belonged to the makeup artist. I think she's the one who said, "Oh, I've got perfume," and I thought, "Thanks."
Was that written?
Was
that written in the script too? Like spray? Like how?
Gosh, I'm trying to think. I don't think it was. I think that was kind of one of those last minute thing that Steve Miner wanted. He did a lot of that, where he did a lot of last minute things, and you had to kind of roll with it. And that was one of those little touches. And I think he wanted to see the discomfort on my face, knowing that I was this good Catholic girl from the Bronx, and knowing that it was very out of character for me and out of character for Vicky, I thought, but it was her way of trying to be sexy and cute.
Yeah, because to me, she seemed more sweet and a little more innocent than the other girls. But that didn't mean, like, she couldn't have a wild side, right?
Yeah. I mean, she didn't get naked and run around with a bikini top bouncing around, but it was kind of typecast, I guess.
That far. Unfortunately, you didn't make it that far.
No, I didn't, but I was the last one of the counselors to get killed.
That is true. That is very true. And it was very unfair because I feel like, let's talk about your death scene for a second. Just the slash to the leg, that had to have sucked. I understand that much. But just to basically write your character off, she's going to cower in this corner here while the guy is just slowly coming at you with the knife, and you're just sitting there. Like, you could have easily, I feel like your character could have lived.
Well, she could have. I
Longer.
Think shock of. Well, think about it. This sack. I mean, I get jumpy when my cat jumps off the bed when I climb in at night if it's dark. I'm like, what was that? And it's my cat. I know it's my cat. One of them. One of 4 of them. And if the dog jumps on the bed in the middle of the night, I'm like, what's that? Even if my husband crawls in bed with me, I'm like, what's that? But no, I digress. But this dude comes up. He's got a sack over his head. There's blood behind him. I back up because you're in total shock. And then there's Bill Randolph hanging out behind me with blood coming out of every orifice. So I always figured that she was paralyzed with fear, and she couldn't run. Yeah. I mean, but you didn't see her dead.
That's true. I mean, we didn't really get to see her die, so to speak.
Yeah.
It was an implied.
I don't have to do my roots now. I swear I'm not drinking or smoking anything. People know I don't do that.
You promise?
I promise.
Perhaps, maybe they'll make a 40 years after Friday the 13th Part 2 and Vicky's still alive.
Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, I had a couple of ideas with the creator and director of Jason Rising, James Sweet. We were chatting, and I said, maybe Vicky can come back as a crazy cat lady living in a treehouse watching over Camp Crystal Lake and just spying on everything that goes on. Kind of like a female Crazy Ralph, I told him.
Yeah, that could work. That could work. Like make a fan film based on Vicky. Well, not so much Vicky, but that she is still there.
Yeah, I wouldn't center it around Vicky, no.
But what if she became what's her name? What's the main character's name? Adrian King's character.
Oh, Alice.
Alice, yeah. But what if like, what if you became like the new, like, what if you're back for revenge, or you're like waiting for him?
I think Adrienne King might show up and kill me herself.
She was quite the brute.
Yeah, she was boss lady for sure.
Very.
Yeah.
Just from the get-go, you're like, oh, because like with the original with yeah, I am terrible with names today. Um, no, Adrian King. That wasn't Amy Steele was who played.
Amy Steele was in mine,
Yeah,
but Adrienne King was in the first one. Yeah.
In the first one, who's Amy Steele's character?
That's Ginny. She survived in mine, but she did not go on to do part 3, whereas Adrienne did part 2.
Yeah.
She was in the beginning of part 2, and then she gets.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, part 2 definitely one of my favorites of the bunch for sure. I enjoyed like the mystery that is Sackhead Jason. I think it's one of my favorite like versions of him, other than part 7.
I think about him every time I go running in my neighborhood. I think about him because people have these, you know how they have the white sheets with the ghosts that look like ghosts, and I always look at the top and I think, oh, it's Sackhead Jason. It's half of them. I did find this thing. I got to do something with it. I might do something with this for Halloween. I'm not sure. Maybe put a couple eyeball holes in here.
Gotta have one.
Yeah, I've got to have one, otherwise I won't know where I'm going. But I thought that would be kind of fun.
But speaking of Jason, I found my favorite version of Jason.
Which one is it? I can't see. I took my glasses off. Hold on.
Part 7 from New Blood. See if I can open that here.
Oh, wow. Oh, that is so cool.
I thought it was, I found this. This was the last one at Target. And I'm like, oh my God. I jumped out of my shoes because I've been looking for this, actually.
Wait, you just got that at Target?
About a couple weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you could only get those online. That's cool.
Target, Walmart holds them, actually, believe it or not.
Lauren, do you have a favorite sequel besides your own? Yes, the Conjuring series. I love all of the sequels in the Conjuring series and all the offshoots.
I think they meant
all the Annabelles and the nuns.
Meant Friday the 13th film.
Okay, if it's my favorite Friday the 13th film is part 6.
Part 6, good. Jason Lives is definitely one of the better ones for sure. I think C.J. Graham did a great job as Jason in that one.
He did a great job. Tom McLaughlin did a great job as director and picking the score, picking the music for it. The Alice Cooper, love it, and he's also a great guy too.
Yeah, for sure. I have that when they released that the box set from Shout Factory. They released those limited edition posters. If you got the bundle from Shout Factory itself, start going around and getting Jason signatures on that thing. Because, well, they're only getting older, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, I was just in Vegas, and Kane Hodder and Warrington Gillette were there. Who do you have on it so far?
I have no one on it so far.
Wait, you have no one?
No, I haven't. Well, I haven't.
Dude.
I don't think since I've gotten it, I don't think because it just came out last year. I haven't actually been to a convention. There was a Jason, I don't think.
That's true. You're right. Well, I think there's Days of the Dead is coming up in Atlanta, and I think there may be a couple of them going to that.
Yeah, I think, well, I know Days of the, because I generally kind of stick to the local area like Indianapolis and Cincinnati, and I think, so the next convention for me will be Horror Hound in Cincinnati again in March.
Okay. Because
normally, this year was kind of a little topsy-turvy because generally Horror Hound in September is in Indianapolis.
Yes. Yeah, I was at that one a few years back.
Yeah, they kind of opted to, let's not do that. Let's just kind of do a makeup convention because the one for March in 2020, like it would have happened, like it was like a week before COVID like blew up. Mm-hmm. And like that week, everything just like shut down. Everything was like, and then that's when they canceled. It was like literally if it would have waited like two weeks, Horror Hound could have happened probably.
Yeah, I was supposed to go to Monster Mania on the weekend of Friday the 13th in 2020 in March, and I had my bags packed. Hi. I had my bags packed. I had my hand sanitizer. I was like, oh, I guess I'll bring this. I don't know. Having no idea. And I saw that people were just dropping out. I kept going back to the website and it was canceled, canceled, canceled. And finally, my promoter called me and said, Lauren, they canceled it. And I said, wow.
Yeah,
Because I was ready to go and get another flat tire.
yeah. That's gonna be the thing. Like it's gonna be like the whole like inside thing. Every time you go to a convention now, here we go, another hopeful that we don't get another flat tire.
Yeah, I had a lot of well wishers and care packages for the trip home. I did appreciate. I got water, sanitizers, masks. I got a couple of bags of snacks. I got somebody got me a thing of granola. Um, ginger ales I got, which was interesting. But I thought, well, I guess I got a Starbucks card to stay awake. Everybody in Cincinnati was really a lot of fun and very generous. I really appreciated them.
It's definitely a good crowd. The horror hound people, like, just it's definitely like, we're all there for the same reason. We're there for the love of horror and stuff like that. It's like going to a concert. I mean, you're all there to see the same bands, or I mean, we're all there for the same reasons. We're there because we all love horror. And most of the time when you go to a convention, I myself have never had a bad experience going to a convention, but like, I'm sure there has been instances where there's been something happen.
Yeah, I did have a bad experience.
Oh, really?
Yeah, don't tell anybody. Oh wait, we're telling a lot of people.
Got
Well,
16 people here. Everybody shush.
I did an outdoor convention and it was so windy. All the pictures were going flying. Not mine though, because I brought hockey pucks with me and I had hockey pucks on all my pictures.
There you go.
I'm just messing with you. It really did happen, but it was a great convention. It was outside, but my pictures were not, they were the only ones who stayed on the table and didn't go flying. I thought, well, I brought the hockey pucks for a reason. And then people started buying the hockey pucks, because the quote, the one with the puck.
These are my weights.
Yeah, I said, you're not going to take one of these collectibles. I'm sorry. I'm okay.
For this convention only, these are not for sale.
I gotta go play hockey.
For sure. I keep reminiscing of, back in March, just because it was so great. It was such a fun time, getting to see so many people in one place again. Like, because I remember it was 2000. It was last year, 2020. Days of the Dead, Indianapolis, still happened actually, and I was completely shocked. I was like, "How is this?"
How did that work?
It was small. Let's just put it was very small, like, because it's up in Indy, and it's where actually Horror Hound used to be.
Mm-hmm.
In Indianapolis, like, it's at a Marriott, like one of the smaller. Well, I mean, it's not small. It's I don't know if you've seen it, or if maybe you've been there.
I was in Indianapolis. I think it was in 2017, and it was a big convention.
So is it maybe that might have been when they moved to?
It was huge.
So that might have been when they had it at the Marriott in downtown Indy.
Yeah, it must have been, because the grounds were big and there were so many rooms, and the rooms that we stayed in, that we, slept in, not that we had our tables in, they were very comfortable, great coffee makers, which is that's the first thing I look for when I get to a hotel room. I go, okay, what kind of coffee maker do they have?
Yeah, I mean, that's a contributing factor, of course.
Yeah.
Because
that's why. Oh, sorry. I was kind of surprised when I went to Las Vegas a couple of weeks ago, because I thought, oh, this is Vegas. And I got to the hotel room and everything is nailed down and there are no coffee makers. I thought, okay, Elvis has been in this building. That's why everything is nailed down.
That would be, that'd be a little weird. It's like everything, I can't even move this.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
back to what we were talking about, Days of the Dead in Indianapolis last year, how small it was. It was. Uh-oh. Did I lose? Nope.
No, you didn't lose me.
Little hiccup in the connection there.
Oh, that's probably.
Oh no. I hope it's not on my end. Well, people, we might have lost her. I hope not. I don't know who you are, but you're not coming in. Maybe we'll. Well, I don't know what to do at this point. Well, we might have to add her back in here. Had a little bit of a technical error, I think, on her end, maybe. She is frozen. Yes, indeed. Let's see if we can get her back here. Yeah, I don't know what happened, guys. Let's see if we can get her back. There she is. Must have had a connection error.
Here we go again. Now we're trying this again. It kept saying Lauren Marie Taylor has joined, and then I didn't come up.
Must have. I don't know. Was it on your end or my end? Maybe.
I don't know. It just said it ended, and I thought, oh, okay, bye.
Well,
Time to make dinner, I guess. I thought I was getting out of that.
I didn't do it. I just out of nowhere you just kind of froze. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, well, we live in an area where there are a lot of Indian burial grounds, and
Oh, that's exciting.
people say there are a lot of haunted things, and in our security cameras, I have seen some really weird things. And when the puppy barks, I know something weird is happening because he's not a barker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's I don't mess with that. It's like if I go to a house, I'm like, did anybody die here? Did anybody die in this area?
Uh-oh, you're leaving me again.
Sorry.
Hold it. There you are.
Yeah, sorry about that. I need to put my phone in private mode when I do these things.
Yeah, I was just on the phone with one of the actresses from part 2, and I kept getting a phone call over and over again. And I was like, send to voicemail. And then the person called me back again and send to voicemail. And it happened about 3 or 4 times. And I'm thinking, if you're not getting me, it's pretty obvious I'm not available.
That's like my wife calling me. Like, I don't answer when she normally calls me, let alone if I'm doing an interview.
And I always answer when family calls. This was somebody else. So I noticed somebody asked about Steve Dash and if I had any memories about Steve Dash. And I get that question a lot because Warrington was the one who had the makeup on, as we all know. Mm-hmm. That was his face that had to sit in the makeup chair. And I think I have a picture of that. Right. Oh, there it is. Oh, wow. Yeah. So, you know, he still kind of looks like that. So he's definitely recognizable. And that's with Carl Fullerton. So Steve Dash was our stunt coordinator. And he was the one who made sure everybody was safe. But when it came to doing the chase scenes with Amy Steele, that was Steve Dash. Okay. Warrington was the head coming through the window. Yeah. And then one of the crew members, Jerry Wallace, he's the sackhead that pops out of the bed with the knife. And he's the one who actually drags me gently down the stairs. So we actually had 3 people, and I think there was one more in the very beginning, right before Adrian King scenes. That was another Jason. Oh, wow. So I didn't work directly with Steve Dash, but he was around. There. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but my Jason, like I said, was a 5'8" crew guy. He wasn't one of these 6'4" guys that you're used to seeing Jason being. Yeah, so he was more. Steve Dash was more like the stunt coordinator, I believe. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And he did do stunts on it. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Because I always, I was like, wait, Steve Dash, but then, like you were saying, Warrington Gillette was the face of Jason, technically. Yeah. For sure. So we were talking about conventions and that the Days of the Dead was super small. Yeah, it was super small. Like I think the only person I met was David Naughton from American Werewolf in London. Yeah. Like, you know, there were still guests there, but there were not very many. I know a lot of people canceled. Like I know Skeet Ulrich from Scream was supposed to be there, but I think he canceled like last minute. And I'm like, yeah, go figure. But I figured, I mean, you literally like this was back when COVID hadn't really like been like it was big. It was pretty serious, but it wasn't like, well, I can't say it was never not serious. Like it was starting to get blown up at the time. This was July of last year, I think, and you had to wear a mask in there the whole time. Like you couldn't. Yeah, that's how it was. Yeah, I mean, they still encourage masks when we go. Yeah. And I carry my vaccine card with me, and I always get tested before I go. A few days before I go, I get tested. So if I've got to be there on a Friday, I get tested Wednesday so that I have the results before usually I'm driving or flying in the case of Las Vegas, obviously. So I get it 2 days before. And then when I come back, I wait a few days to get the real test, not the store-bought test, to get the real test from the City MD. I wait a few days for that because you always hear, well, it takes a few days to get into your system.
Yeah.
And then I've never, knock on wood, I've never had a positive. I had a false positive way back in the fall of last year, about a year ago. But I knew I didn't have it because my husband had it. And I didn't get sick from him. And he was down for the count for 2 full weeks.
Oh,
he even lost his sense of smell until around Christmas time. And this is a very active guy. So it was hard for him. But I have a couple of things going on, some, nothing major, just a couple of underlying odd conditions.
Yeah.
And the thinking at home was, if John's sick, Lauren's going to get sick. And I didn't get sick from him.
Well, that's, I mean, knock on wood, like you said, knock on wood. Like, it's one of those things that me and my wife like talk about here and there. It's like, if you're going to get it, I mean, it affects everybody differently. That's the thing. Like, they're going by the majority of, that, which is safe. I mean, everybody's going to get sick. It's going to get sick. It just depends on the severity by the person.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I've been sick in the time COVID's been a thing, but I don't think I've ever actually had COVID. Like, I have a pretty good immune system from, of course, I have children now. That changes a little bit because, when you have small kids and they're always coughing on things, that changes a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it sure does.
Mouth quite. But if they're sick, generally within a week, somebody else in the house is sick, and it's usually so. Thank goodness for that. I mean, sort of, so to speak. Not thank goodness, but it's one of those things. Like if I get sick, like it's like terrible. But normally about a couple times a year, I get like a sinus infection. But other than that, it's just I think it's mostly just because we live around cornfields.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
I live in Indiana. We have corn here. That's it.
Corn fed.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody asked if I was going to be at Days of the Dead Atlanta. I'm not sure. Not Atlanta. That already happened. Chicago. So I'm not sure yet. When everything is finalized, then they'll announce it if I am. If I'm not, then they won't announce it. But yeah, I'll be in Pennsylvania this week on Thursday, like I said, at the State Theater in Johnstown. But then we're going to Germany. Oh. And a couple of people from Sleepaway Camp are going to Germany too. So that'll be a lot of fun to hang out with those guys. Those women.
A convention or just?
Yeah, it's a convention. It's called not Weekend of Horror, Weekend of Hell. It's called, and it's in Dusseldorf.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, I'll be dusting off my passport. I was speaking with Darcy DeMoss a few days ago because she's going also. And I was saying to her, I said, gosh, I'm a vegetarian. What am I going to eat while I'm there? And we decided, well, Lauren, if you're going to eat bratwurst, what better place to eat bratwurst than in the place where it's made? So I may have to break my vegetarianness after since I've been 17 to have some bratwurst.
I mean, yeah, it kind of makes it hard because that's not really a vegetarian place.
No, oh, thanks. No, it's not. But I've been reassured that I'll be okay there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they have things, like
sauerkraut.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come home reeking of sauerkraut. My dog's gonna be like, "Who is this chick? Man, she smells like mold."
You're gonna get on the plane like, "Oh, geez." I think they actually just had a convention this past weekend or something like that in the UK. Something called I don't remember what it's called now. It left me, but yeah, it's kind of neat to see that these overseas conventions are starting to finally happen again.
Yeah, I had one that was canceled. Not the one that Felissa Rose just went to and Adrian King just went to. That was in Manchester, I believe. But I was going to a different one, and that one was canceled because of another outbreak.
Oh, I see.
But I think that was supposed to be in September. Yeah, it was supposed to be Labor Day in September. So they canceled that one, and then I was already busy doing the theater thing
Yeah,
this week.
that's
So you kind of have to, you know, you don't want to be traveling every weekend either. You want to be home. We've got a 7-month-old puppy. So I have to not only train my husband, I've got to train the puppy too.
yeah. Well, I mean, what are you gonna do? But I think I remember now what that. I think it's called For the Love of Horror. What that convention was called in Manchester.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was called. I should know it because we were just talking about it.
I think it was called For the Love of Horror.
Yeah,
Something like that.
like that. Yeah, I'll have to ask the girls
Mm-hmm.
when they get back.
So,
Maybe they are.
so you said that's this weekend. You're doing the theater thing with part 2
In Johnstown. No, it's on Thursday. Actually, it's Thursday night. So I
Very-
might just record it live
well,
for
that'll be-
fun, and it's well, it starts at 6:30. I'm doing a Q&A, and then I'm gonna do what I do is I'm gonna watch it with everybody else with my big bucket of popcorn, yelling at the TV, throwing things maybe at my character when she changes into those brown underwears.
No.
And then I'll do some autograph signing and more chit chat with everybody afterwards. And because it's an earlier evening,
Okay.
it's more friendly to people who have to get up and go to work the next day. Because, you know, these horror movies back from the 80s, they were not that long. They were maybe 90 minutes long.
An hour, 20, hour and a half.
Yeah.
Most.
Yeah. About the length of a fan film.
Yeah.
So it's not a huge evening commitment for a lot of people for a Thursday night.
Yeah.
And we're hoping to have a good turnout. I know we're having a couple of the Jason cosplayers coming, and that's going to be a lot of fun to meet some of those guys and women who work with them. That'll be fun.
Well, absolutely. So this is a local place then, or no?
Yeah, it's called the State Theater of Johnstown, and I believe it's an hour and a half east of Pittsburgh. So there's Pittsburgh, and they go, and so it's a little closer. For me, it's closer than to actually go all the way into Pittsburgh. So it's about 5 hours away from me. It's not the 12-hour trip to Cincinnati.
That's right. I forgot that's what you were saying, that it was about 5-hour drive. Because I know you're from New York, aren't you? Right?
Yeah, I'm from New York. Yeah, I'm a New York City girl originally. Yeah. The Bronx.
The Bronx, yeah.
The Bronx.
I'm from Milan, Indiana, from my hometown anyway. I don't know if you ever heard of the movie Hoosiers.
Yeah, of course. Gene Hackman, right?
Yeah. That's what my that movie's based on the high school I went to. Like we were like the underdog team because we were such a small town, and we won the state champ. It was back in like 1954. We won state champs that year. Like one of the top tier schools in the state. So that they made a movie about it, and that was Hoosiers.
Yeah.
And that's what our town's kind of known for. It's like, oh yeah, that's the place that Hoosiers was based on. It's like, yeah. Let me tell you.
Were you at the age where you could be going there when they were filming it, or is that before your time?
Like the movie? Well, when was that film made?
Was that in the 80s? I don't remember.
I'm
thinking
80s. I was born in 90. Definitely not.
Oh, no, it's before your time, yeah.
A little before my time. I think it was like late 80s maybe. It's kind of
cool. It's definitely before your time.
It's kind of neat because like we literally have like 2-3 restaurants in the whole city, and our Dairy Queen has like a poster of the Hoosiers, like the Hoosiers poster, and it's like signed by like, I don't know if it has Gene Hackman on there or not, but it was kind of cool to think like this movie was made because of our little town. So it's kind of neat. Like sometimes people like if I meet like guests at like conventions, they'll ask me where I'm from. I'm like, well, have you ever seen the movie Hoosiers?
Of course, yeah, that's where you're from. Lauren, did you ever do any theater? Yes. Yeah, I did. Actually, I did a lot of high school theater. And you'll actually like this story. When I was in high school, my brother was dating a young actress, and you'll know her name. Her name is Ali Sheedy. And we did a lot of the plays at our brother's school called Regis High School in New York City. And we were in a production of Oklahoma together. And after one of the nights that we were doing it, she said to me, "Oh, you know, my manager is here and she'd like to meet you." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." It was before she was Ali Sheedy. She was just Ali Sheedy. And I met with her manager, and her manager said, "Have you ever thought of doing TV commercials?" And I said, "Well, no, not really." She goes, "Well, you have a good look. You have an all-American look, and I'd love to work with you for a little while." So went in. A couple months later, booked my first job, Burger King commercials, and did those commercials for 3 years. But here's a funny 1 degree of separation Friday the 13th fact that I think your fans and our friends of the franchise would love. Kevin Bacon was in part one, right?
Yes.
I was in part two. Part one was 1980. Part two was 1981. When I was, again, young actress in New York City, I had the opportunity to do an off-Broadway show called Album down at the Cherry Lane Theater. And I was understudy there, and I wound up doing it in Chicago to take one of the actresses' place in Chicago for a little while. And one of the four characters, one of the four actors, it was 2 girls, 2 boys. One of the 2 boys was Kevin Bacon.
Oh, wow.
And it was right after right after Friday the 13th, the first one came out. And it was right after I had filmed my Friday the 13th. But neither of us knew about the other one.
Wow.
So that was kind of funny, because here we're with each other every single night at rehearsals, going out afterwards. It never came up. Hey, you know, how, by the way, I did this horror movie. Really? I did this one. Because it wasn't a franchise yet.
Yeah.
And it's bigger now than it was 40 years ago, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to think how like huge things are now compared to they were, like, you know, Halloween, Friday the 13th, you know, when they became established as franchises. Like, you know, when you have 2 or 3 films, it's becoming a franchise, but not quite there yet. Then it's like, then it became one, and now it's like, you know, Friday the 13th is, you know, one of the most well-known horror franchises out there.
Yeah, and now I think because the popularity of the franchise, a lot of upcoming horror movie filmmakers who have the big budgets, because they've been doing it as assistants, or, you know, not PAs, but, you know, just proteges, I guess is the word that I'm looking for. Proteges of some of the bigger directors. They want their work to become franchises, so they go out purposefully to build a franchise, which is cool.
It's fun to see new franchises forming, because it's really been, you know, a long time since we've really like you know, saw the Conjuring films. There really hasn't been a whole lot of, you know, horror franchises that have come out in the past, you know, couple decades, honestly. Like, of course, like, say, Saw, the Conjuring films. I guess Paranormal Activity would be considered one, but nobody wants to talk about that.
Yeah. Hey, listen, the older ones are the best.
If they would have just left it off the first one, they didn't make a second one, third, fourth, so on. They would have just left the first one, because it was believable to think that this is based on real stuff. And then they made 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it's like, oh, there goes the mystery and the magic that the first one was.
Well, it's, you know, Jason goes to outer space. I mean, you know, King Kong versus Godzilla. I tried to watch that the other night, and I'm sorry, I like the old Godzilla movies where
the guys,
they're saying one thing, obviously, with their own dialogue and their own language, and we're dubbing it in, and their mouths are doing this, and our mouths are doing this. Those were some of the best horror movies, I believe.
It's comical to watch now, just to see how off the, you know, language is, and so on and so forth. I thought the new Kong versus Godzilla was, you know, it was definitely a big, you know, action film. It was definitely entertaining nonetheless, but I mean, of course, you know, big monster film.
You need a big TV for that. That's the kind of thing that you need to see in a movie theater, not on your iPad.
IMAX would have been really cool to see an IMAX.
Yeah, 3D IMAX. Yeah, but not like me on my iPad.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, well, I think I'm running out of things to talk about.
Ah, we could take a couple questions if you want.
I mean, if there are people down below, uh,
Are there people down below? Hi, people down below.
yeah,
If you can't pronounce the names.
we've got 15 people down here, or 14 now. If anybody has questions for Lauren,
Enough about Friday. Where's all the love for Girls Night Out?
there
He's downstairs taking a nap. That's where all the love for Girls Night Out is. Thank you, Ray. Hold on a second. I'm gonna be a hot mess here. Ah, there's my Camp Crystal Lake water too. Yeah, here's all the love for Girls Night Out.
Oh, very cool.
For those of you who don't know, I met my husband on the set of this movie. It was originally called The Scaremaker. Then it was called something else, and then it was called something else. But I still have the original script, which is kind of cool. Yeah. How was John Belushi? Oh, you're talking about Neighbors. Yeah. I think I showed the Neighbors picture earlier, right? Yeah, I did. John Belushi was great to work with. They had that wonderful, here we go.
Yep, there
That's us. A little bit of an outtake there. One of our last days on set. John Belushi was great to work with. He was just tremendously talented, a lot of fun. I have great stories. Some of them I don't want to divulge because they're just close to my heart and quite hysterical. But he definitely let our director, John Alvinson, know that he didn't know anything about comedy, but John knew. He did tell the director off one day during one of our scenes, and that was kind of funny. And Dan Aykroyd, after the little exchange that happened between John Belushi and the director about who knows how to do comedy better, John Belushi walked off the set because it was the end of the day, and Danny Aykroyd just says, well, I guess it's a wrap for the day, his Dan Aykroyd voice. But John Belushi was great. When I was doing Album off Broadway, he used to come with Danny after I was done. He would come to the stage door, and we would either go back to his house, which was around the corner at the time in the West Village, and listen to music all night, and then fall asleep and then wake up and go to the set of Neighbors. Yeah. Or we would go out and go to concerts. Like we went to a Meatloaf concert, Adam and the Ant, and all kinds of punk groups. I got to meet Carrie Fisher with John Belushi. We went to Christopher Reeve's birthday party. So it was a time where he was really great to work with, but he also, I know he had drug problems, but he never did any of that stuff around me. And he was really cool, and I really admired him for respecting me. I mean, I was old enough, but he respected me as a young actress, and especially as a young actress in his movie, to not say, "Hey, let's party." Yeah. I mean, so he was great to work with. To answer your question,
kept it to himself at least.
Yeah. Oh, somebody went to Crystal Lake tours. Yeah, I've been to Crystal Lake tours in New Jersey, but the camp in New Jersey. In Blairstown is not the same camp where we filmed Friday the 13th Part 2. We filmed that over in Kent, Connecticut.
Oh wow!
So yeah, a lot of people think it was done in the same location. But last summer before in 2020, Bill Randolph and I went to Camp Crystal Lake in Blairstown, and we went around with the tours, and a lot of obviously Adrian King and Ari Lehman can talk about, well, we did this here, we did that there. What Bill and I did was, okay, so in Part 1, they did this. In our movie, we had a very similar set, and we were able to do the similarities and the differences between the two camps, and that was kind of cool.
That's because obviously, like you said, they're two different camps, so.
Yeah. And yeah, Belushi definitely, Pound Puppies, one of those things where you go in and you sing, kind of like doing a jingle, but you don't really know what it's for. And then you find out later that it was for an animated show. And anyway, that's kind of funny. How'd you feel about Stacy's powder puff death on Loving? Well, I didn't have to wear any prosthetics and bleed and scream. At least it was a quiet death.
Spoilers, I haven't seen this.
Oh, please. Oh, my God. Good luck trying to see it. No, I go to sleep, and, that's the end of that.
Yeah. You probably can't even find, like, something like that.
People have asked about it, and I have no idea where where you could find it. No.
Looks like that would be like trying to find like reruns of Days of Our Lives.
Yeah, you might have better luck with that, actually.
Yeah, but I mean, like even like older ones, like they don't release
Old ones.
Yeah, like they don't release those on like those aren't stuff that you can just like buy on like DVD and stuff.
No, they can do like memory things.
Yeah.
Not like being torn apart by a bear. That's pretty funny. Yeah, it's oh, that's right, Sumo Bob's. Thank you for that. It's on YouTube in Italian. We're very popular. Loving was very popular in Italian, and so when I went to Italy to accept People's Choice Awards some years ago, it was like being a Beatle. I thought I could just walk around the town square and go. We were in Perugia, and I thought, oh, let me go get some chocolates. So I left the hotel. My husband took a nap, and I left my actually had bodyguard. Bodyguard. I don't want to call him a bodyguard, but I guess he was kind of like my handler, but he took care of me. So back then they were like, I will always love you, that type of thing. Anyway, so I left the hotel and I ditched Massimo, who was handling me while I was in Italy. And I went walking around looking for the chocolates in Perugia. And all of a sudden I turned around, I had all these people following me. I'm like, who are all these people? So I thought, I better sit down, eat my chocolates, pet the stray cats. And I have a picture of it. All these people were around me in this little rotunda type of area. And they were all going, Stacy, Stacy. And I'm thinking, oh, that's right. This is a People's Choice Award. And these are the people who voted. I think I might be in trouble down here. But they were so sweet. But I remember my husband calling me from the terrace of our hotel going, hon, are you okay? And then Massimo says, what are you doing? What are you doing? And he came out to get me and dragged me away from the mob.
You are going to die. Come with me if you want to live.
No, they were the Italian fans. They've been great over the years. So yeah, so it is on YouTube, but if you know Italian, you'll be able to watch it. If you don't, subtitles.
Yeah, hopefully. I saw somebody earlier said that you can find Days on DVD, and they said don't have that.
A best of, yeah.
Yeah, I could see that maybe like a best of, like a compilation or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, I think
anybody else? Hi, Bob.
Yeah, we time for maybe one more question.
I didn't really work with Hal Holbrook a lot. He was around. He was a quiet man. He was very old Hollywood, if you will. He held court. Very nice, but I really didn't have, I didn't have like a driving relationship. Like we didn't hang out, go to dinner or anything like that. He'd sit in the mess hall together. We didn't do that. Hi, Bob.
Well,
yeah.
I think I'm going to let Lauren hop off here and get back to her day, and I'm going to go to bed.
Oh, that's right. You have a funny work schedule.
Yeah, I have a third shift life.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me. Warrington was great. Yes. So, if anybody has any extra questions, you can always, whoops, no, I always post stuff on, where's that called? Instagram. So it's just Lauren Marie Taylor with the number 1 behind it.
Yep.
So next time I post something, don't always get to all the DMs because there's so many that come in.
Yeah.
So it's like, but I usually try to answer if you make a comment on a post that I do. So, and then, I have started a podcast.
Yeah.
Not the Final Girl podcast. Yeah. So it's on Spotify and all those other platforms. You can get them. And we have some cool guests coming up. I think everybody will like them too. Yeah.
So is that on Apple Podcasts as well? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh yeah. It's on Apple. It's on Spotify. It's on iHeartRadio. Okay. It's on all the major platforms.
I've had people ask me like if I eventually think I'll like take my because I wouldn't say this is really a podcast because podcasts are spoken word and like listening to the radio. I don't know if like I'll eventually, because I'm not great with technology. Like I've literally still I've been doing these interviews for about almost a year now, and I've still just kind of kept here. Like I haven't dove into like Zoom yet and stuff like that, which I need to, because eventually I'm going to talk to that person that's going to say, well, I mean, I'm not going to do this interview unless we do this way, or like do
I see.
something like that. So I'm going to have to eventually venture out a little, outside of my comfort zone at some point.
Yep. Yep. That's exactly what I did. I went out of my comfort zone because, being in this position, one is used to being on the questions asked
Yeah,
side of it. So to be the other person,
asking the question.
I mean, I've done it before. I mean, I've hosted a television show on Lifetime, and I've hosted morning programs when I was on the soap opera. I'd be guest hosts across the country for morning programs, live programs where you had to talk about news. You had to actually speak, not just talk, have fun and talk movies. Obviously, we did that too, but you had to talk about the weather and the traffic too.
Yeah.
So it's definitely different. Because also it's not like I'm just going to be talking to my friends. Obviously, I'm going to start with the people who I'm closest to or who I have a relationship with. So my first interview is Warrington Gillette. But then going forward from that, I have other people that I've contacted in other ways and who are gracious enough to say, all right, this is a pilot, so let's do it. Let's have fun with this. And they've been very supportive. Yeah.
I think it'll be very fun. I'll definitely have to I'll have to promote it on my page. I'll have to be like, hey, I just interviewed Lauren. Go check out her new podcast that just,
Thanks.
soon.
Thanks.
Now, has it
Be patient with me. I'm just learning how to edit and do all that other stuff. So yeah.
Same here with like these videos and stuff. It's just like it's fun learning how to do like this stuff. It's just getting to do it.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, you can tell I'm enjoying this. So I'd be like, oops, I lost the connection. Oops.
Well, I'm glad you're still here, that you stuck it out this long.
Sorry, my internet went down. Oops.
Oh, I thought we lost you earlier. Actually, I was a little concerned.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know. Maybe I can't blame it on my cat or the dogs or anything like that. So maybe it was me on my end.
I mean, connections hiccup here and there. It's no big deal. We got your back.
Yeah, thank you. Well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you doing this I'm glad we finally got to do this, after the few little
Hiccups.
Yeah, little hiccups, little delays, but I mean, it was kind of on both ends. It was no biggie. I figured we'd eventually get to it.
Yeah, I mean, I had you on my calendar. Looking at it. Yeah, we tried twice before we tried. Yeah.
It's okay. I mean, like I said, life gets in the way. We all, you're extremely busy from the sound of it. So I'm glad.
Well,
I was glad I was able to catch you, on your free time.
Thank you. And just one message to everybody: if you ever see anybody pulled off to the side of the road with a flat tire,
it might be
stop and offer help,
because
it was a lifesaver for that gentleman to stop and pull over and ask. When he saw me jumping like this, to get the lug nuts off.
Did pull off to the side of the road because it might be Lord Marie Taylor.
Again.
I said, pull off to the side of the road. It could be Lauren Marie Taylor.
This is true.
Well,
I'm losing you, I believe. So I'm going to head out. If you can only hear me, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I can still hear you, but I think it's starting to kind of shake a little bit. But
yeah, it is.
But anyway, you take care. Hopefully, your showing Thursday goes well.
Thank you. Well, I'm doing it. I'm really doing it for my husband's BFF for many years, John Qualley. Really to bring attention to a wonderful old theater in the middle of Pennsylvania. It's, I hope people turn out because I think we'll have a great time watching it together.
Oh, of course.
And I'm sure people will. But it's most important to get there. It's 31 days of Halloween, so there's still a few more weeks left of the month.
Yeah, for sure. I think it'll be fun to see all the Friday the 13th fans show up and support. And I think we lost her this time. Nope.
Oh.
Post some pics on your Instagram. I'm sure she will. Well, guys, if you're in the Pennsylvania area, definitely go check out that showing this Thursday at the State Theater, as you were saying.
Yes.
The State Theater. I forget the town. I keep.
It's called Johnstown. The State
Johnstown.
Theater in Johnstown. Yeah.
So if you're in Johnstown, I don't know if out of the 16 people here that'll be there, but if you're definitely go to that screening. I think it's for a good cause, and it's Friday the 13th Part 2. I mean, it's the 40th anniversary. What better way to celebrate?
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks so much, man.
Of course. You take care. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I'm sure I'll talk to you at some point again.
Hey, yeah, you will. All right. You take care of yourself.
Yep. You do the same.
Thank you, love. Bye.
Bye. All right. Well, Part 2 is the best. I want to thank everybody who stuck around. We had a lot of fun with this one. We lost each other at some point, and again, I want to thank Lauren Marie for joining me to do this. I know we had a couple hiccups trying to get this put together, but we made it happen, and it was a lot of fun. I'm glad we had a little bit of an audience here. So I appreciate everybody sticking around, everybody watching. Before I go, as you all know, I talk for Fright Rags. They're a sponsor of mine, and I always try to share their products. And I got recently they did a rehash of their Halloween franchise, and Halloween 2 was one of them. Halloween 3, basically Halloween 1 through 6, H2O, I think, but we'll get to that. They're doing they did a release today. There's I don't know if you guys noticed, they did a People Under the Stairs collection. I don't know. I think it was a brand new collection. I don't think they've ever released these. And then they also have a Trick or Treat 2021 collection coming out this Friday, I believe. So you definitely want to go and check that out if you're a fan of Trick or Treat. Of course, we all are. Go to www.fright-rags.com and be sure to use my promo code RReport2021. You'll get a 10% discount on your whole order. So that'll help you out. It'll help me out. So with that, I'll see you guys hopefully within a week or so. I've got another interview kind of in the talks, but I'll post it and we'll get around to it. And again, thanks everybody for sticking around, and I'll see you all in the next one.